crystals, beautiful things, whether we're talking about calcite or amethyst or good old rock salt. There's one thing they have in common. The ions of which they are composed are lined up in a three-dimensional array. Backwards, forwards, sideways, it all looks the same. It's a regular pattern. Now that's interesting because there's another substance that we call a crystal, which is actually glass, and it doesn't have any kind of internal organized pattern. What is glass? Well, you take some sand, you mix it with some sodium carbonate, add a little calcium carbonate, heat it up until it melts, and then you can blow it and cool it down, and you get a shape if you've blown it into a mold. And then you can take some tools, cut the glass, get these incredible facets that reflect light. This is called a crystal. These crystals are famous for their beauty. Well, some of that beauty comes from the addition of lead oxide. This is lead glass. George Ravenscroft in the 17th century found that if you just added some lead oxide to the cooling melt, you would get these beautiful looking crystals. And then in the 18th century, George Swarovski learned a trade. The trade was glass cutting. And he actually invented a machine so that you could make very, very fine cuts, and thus was born the most famous kind of crystal, glass crystal, the Swarovski crystals. And you have beautiful glassware, you have all kinds of things that are made of glass. Indeed, Marilyn Monroe's supposed diamonds in that classic movie, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, when she's singing "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend," she's actually wearing Swarovski crystals. They have played a role in movies all over the place. Even Dorothy's slippers in Wizard of Oz were decorated with Swarovski stones. Now, as you may know, I collect ducks. I collect ducks of all kinds, obviously. Most of them are made of polyvinyl chloride, but I also have some glass ducks. And here is a very pretty one. But now I want to tell you a story about my most interesting glass ducks that I got as a present. And these are Swarovski ducks. And they are indeed very pretty. There's a whole slew of them, and you can see how it reflects the light. You see all of the facets, and we have a real duck family here. And I like these ducks. I used to show them to people all the time because they glimmer. But however, some of the shine has gone off those ducks for me. Why? Because it turns out that some members of the Swarovski family during the Second World War were members of the Nazi Party. And they actually took part in some of the activities of the party. Now, of course, today the Swarovski company has nothing to do with that, but still it has this little sort of speck of dirt in the glass. Nevertheless, I still appreciate my nice crystal ducks, and now I hope that I've been able to excite you about the beauty of crystals, whether they are made of sodium chloride or whether they are made of glass.